enough. I have had enough. I'd like to welcome you to the journey. This is Brother Hot Tim, and I'm coming live from the hookah spot. I want to send out shots first to all those things that we love, that I love, that support me. First off, I want to send some shots out to Oxy Water, the world's first oxygen-enhanced mineral water. You can try Oxy Water Black, Oxy Water Pink, Cherry Pomegranate, Olive Citrus, Passion Berry. For more information, go to www.tryoxywater.com. And if you watch NASCAR, look for their car on the track. Yeah, they doing big things. Now, let's move on to Orange 82. I want to send some shouts out to Orange 82, the electronic music label. You know, the music you just was hearing was created by them, especially for the show. We also got some other music that I'm going to be playing by them, and we going to keep it popping off here. And you can check out Orange 82 at www.orange82. Also, I want to send shouts out to Unidad Capoeira, up under the stewardship of Monitor Dentista, located in Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Toledo, Chicago, and Decatur, Madison, Alabama. Also, we want to remember New Harvest Urban Arts Complex. You go and check them out. You could find them on the web. They're in Columbus. They sell some marvelous food as well as have live jazz every Saturday night. It's an urban arts complex, so they focus on the arts and using the arts to bring some form of consciousness and some form of healthiness to the community. They also do urban farming, which is something very important that we got to start looking at and taking a little bit more seriously, and maybe I'll get a little bit more into that as I go on in this show. Also, I want to send out shots to the Shisha Lounge, 2369 North High Street. That's where I'm broadcasting live from. You know, it's just me alone tonight, and that's cool because I'm going to make it through. I'm going to push through, and we're going to have an excellent time. I'm trying to think about some of the things that we need to talk about because, you know, this is a show built on emergence. And for those that don't understand what emergence is when you just get into something and you allow shit to rise up and you turn that shit to fertilizer and you make it work for you, and that's what I'm good at. I'm going to turn this shit into fertilizer, and we're going to have us a good conversation today and talk, and maybe we get into some things, but, you know, I wanted to send those shots out. Now, next, I also want to encourage you to check me out at www.giamijourney.com. You can check my my past blog, my past blog post. You can find out some of the things that I'm doing. You can even get up on there and look at some of the books that I've been writing. Players Pyramid, the Lost Art of Storytelling, and also my poetry book, Poetry is My Religion. And last but not least, we want to go to the Giami Journey Handbook. It's one of those books that is one of my bestsellers, and it helps you work through Proverbs so that you get an understanding about the most important person in the world. And if you don't know who that is, that person is you. I want you to start researching you so that you can go and start becoming a better person. I'm trying to adjust the volume. I'm sorry. I want to get the volume right so that y'all can hear me. So now, what are we going to discuss today? All right. First thing I want to talk about right now is I am so sick. As my man said, I had enough. You know, I don't know what's going on in Washington, but somebody needs to put their foot in their ass because everything is always moving slow. I'm so sick of this Republican and Democratic bullshit. We need a third party. We need a people's party. We need something where people are actually going up there and representing us. Because right now, all I'm seeing is politicians representing themselves. And that's my opinion. Maybe y'all might know some good politicians or some people out there that ain't out there for themselves. But right now, all I can see is those people out there for them. And I think that needs to stop. Maybe we might need to put term limits on some of this. Maybe we might need to do some campaign finance reform. Maybe we might need to just kick all their asses out and put some new people in. But definitely we need to put some new competition up there, because if there's no competition, there's nothing that's going to happen. See, a lot of these politicians don't really have what they call skin in the game. They just able, because a majority of them are millionaires, they're able to look at what everybody else is going through from a distance. They don't have no pain, no skin in the game, so they could declare war, or they could allow prices to go out of control, or they could allow the dollar to fall, and it won't do nothing for them. But for the average citizens out here, when the value of the dollar fall and prices rise, that means that we have to work twice as hard to get anything done. I want y'all to think about this. How many of y'all had to worry 10 to 12 years ago about gas in your car? Now gas is a major expense, and you got the budget for that shit. And you need gas to run your car so that you can take your ass to work. Now, why aren't our politicians dealing with that? So while we on this, let's look at the politicians and also this thing, this sequester. They come up with these new words, sequester. It sounds fancy, but it means bundle of bullshit. That's basically what it means. It's a bundle of bullshit that's surrounded by bullshitters that's rolling around in the bullshit and not even smart enough to go on and make it fertilizer. We got people supposedly standing on principle. We got both sides talking about cutting spending, but both of them is spending money. I have a problem with. You're feeding us some bullshit. Now we need to stand up to this. Now with the sequester, a new thing that happened is now they're gonna be able to sit up in Washington and get paid and have some of those beautiful health benefits for the next 6 months, because now Fannie Mae, through some accounting tricks, have been able to come up with another $90 billion to give to these motherfuckers to fuck over. I want you to think about that. So Fannie Mae, which is the government mortgage company, has come up with $90 billion to give these motherfuckers so that they can sit around and fiddle around and play with your life. Now, they shouldn't get no more money until some compromise, to some synchronicity happens in Washington. They shouldn't get no more money, neither side, until we get some action done and get them to stop just arguing and bickering like a bad couple. If you're going to get a divorce, get a divorce. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to separate, separate. But don't sit up there and punish your quote-unquote kids because you too heartless to get out here and really get out here and hustle and do what you need to do. Also, a new bill was put on the floor where they want to prioritize the bills, and they want to put something through legislation, and it's the Republicans. They want to put something through the legislation to keep the United States credit rating from falling. And what they want to do is they want to prioritize and pay our debts, the country's debts. Now, I kind of like how the Democrats approach this, because they approached it from this standpoint. They labeled this, they spent this, and called this bill the Pay China First bill. Now, I'm with, far as long as the sequester is on, I'm saying that no money needs to go outside of our country. We don't need to pay no bills outside of what's owed to the American citizenry before this sequester ends, or this debt ceiling, or all these little fancy words that they got for not paying their motherfucking bills, not paying their child support. You know what I'm saying? They need to go on and pay these bills, because when I am in a financial situation, I can't have a sequester in my house and still be spending money. You know what I'm saying? When you have financial problems, you got to prioritize and make sure you pay bills. And I guarantee the first bill you paying is not going to be to pay somebody else that's not going to put food on the motherfucking table. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to prioritize. We're not forcing them to have to do anything. They don't have skin in the game. So they could think about credit ratings when your people are suffering. This lets you know that these individuals that are in Washington, D.C. are coming from a totally different perspective than you. Totally different perspective. You need to really, really think about this, because they are able to talk about paying some people outside of this country rather than paying the people inside the country first. And I don't think they should be able to touch any of this Fannie Mae money until this stuff is over. But of course, you know, I'm just a voice crying in the wind, so it don't make no difference, right? But it could. Now, I've been perusing and going through the internet, and I've been complaining about these healthcare prices for a while. And I'm saying we're putting the cart before the horse, because we're trying to reform medical care, and they got what they call Obamacare, but we have not dealt with the fact that the hospitals and the doctors could possibly be charging too much. Now, there's an article in the Huffington Post called "Hospital Prices No Longer Secret as New Data Reveals Bewildering Systems and Staggering Cost Differences." Now, one example that I'm going to give you is, if you go to one hospital in New Jersey and you have COPD, they report that you will come out of your pocket for $99,690. But if you go just 30 miles away to Bronx, New York, and go to that medical center there, it's Lincoln Medical Center, they will charge you $7,044. Now, I had to pause on that. I want that to sink in. So for the same treatment, you have a price difference of over, let's see, $82,000. Come on now. Is that not an issue of pricing? Is that not an issue of lack of control? Is that not an issue of them not having to compete? You know, I guess they figured since you're gonna die and you need the nearest hospital, they could charge whatever they want. Now let's go and look at some of these other differences that's really crazy. What it cost here and there. This is a little picture that they have. Now, American hospital charges vastly different sums for the same medical procedure. That's problematic. The cost of treating chronic obstruction pulmonary disease. Now, they have a map here, and here goes some of the prices. $13,000, $26,000, $10,000, $17,000, $7,000, $8,000, $20,000, $36,000, $19,000, $30,000, $25,000, $14,000, $13,000, $19,000, $21,000, $11,000, $18,000, $99,000, $31,000, $46,000, $60,000, $30,000. All this is within an area of less than 100 miles. I want you to think about that. This is ridiculous. How can you have businesses? Because that's what they are. You call them nonprofits as you want, but it's a needed commodity. And we have Washington arguing about this health care bill, when in fact, if you was to find some way to make these doctors and these hospitals have to compete, it would lower the price. And I know my little plan is not perfect, but it gets beyond all the bullshit, because when you got somebody charging $99,000 for something and somebody else charging $7,000 for something, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? Within 30 miles. There's something wrong with that. And if we don't start dealing with that in America, these prices will continue running out of control, and the medical system will be responsible for more people going to the poorhouse than any other institution or any other business out there. How many of you are struggling right now because you caught a cold that turned into pneumonia, or you sprained your toe and you went to the hospital and you had a crazy bill? Or like I took my son to surgery and they charged me $10,000 to take a goddamn pit out of his ear. It wasn't even inside the ear. It was on the surface of his skin. The hell? I'm like, come on now. How are we going to ever have a free society? Something where people can actually prosper if medical, which is something that is a basic necessity to have a healthy population, has prices like this. Every last price I'm looking at is some cash that could be flowing into the economy for some usefulness, from some useful things that people can buy that will help the economy and help them earn more money so that they could pay more taxes. All these prices that I said on here, all these take money away from people that they can't put into other things that will benefit them. Come on, man. That's not fair. That's not right. That's crazy. So, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to move now to my next topic. The next topic that I want to talk about is drones. Drones, for those that don't know, drones are these little planes that they have in the military now, where a motherfucker could fly a plane from 3,000 miles away and drop a bomb on a stranger and then walk out of his safe headquarters and go lift weights, or walk out and go get a cappuccino at Starbucks. Now, when we make war that easy, it makes it easier for our politicians to find stupid wars for us to get into. When you extract the fact of death out of war, or death at least on your side out of war, it makes it easier for people to want to go to war. We need to do something about this drone shit. We done took the whole adventure piece out of war. I'm not promoting war, but what I'm saying is we're taking the personal responsibility. We're taking the skin out. We're taking the personal responsibility and the personal risk out of war and mechanizing it to the point of where somebody could be 3,000 miles away and drop a bomb on a family. Had a wrong intel and develop enemies against America that we really don't need and that we really can't afford. You know what I'm saying? We got to get a control over this, because the drones have done for politics what the rifle has done for the coward. And I'm going to say that again. The drone has done for politicians what the rifle has done for cowards. See, and let me explain what I mean. The rifle allows you to shoot a motherfucker from over 1,000 yards away. You never have to look them in the eye. You never have to actually go into combat with them. You can shoot the motherfucker from 1,000 yards. Now we got technology where we could drop a bomb and kill somebody from 3,000 miles away. Now, one of the biggest concerns that I think we should have as Americans, how long before they start doing that shit to us? When we want to dissent, when we don't agree with some of these fucked up policies and some of these arguments going on in Washington, what's to stop some of these motherfuckers who are bought and paid by these large corporations from turning around and using that shit on us? Well, what's to stop another country from developing a better technology and using it on us? Come on, man. Help me understand. I'm just trying to make sense out of all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even want to make sense out of it. But I'm trying to see the things that can emerge, because now, one of the biggest things is now people are able to buy private drones. So how long is it going to be before some insane motherfucker going to figure out how to put a machine gun on that shit, or to put a makeshift missile on it, and blow you up? How long before domestic terrorists figure out how to get a drone and put some shit on it and fly it into buildings? Or maybe I'm thinking too much. I don't know. All right. Scientists have found a new particle. They have invented, I'm switching subjects by the way. Scientists have invented an oxygen particle that, if injected, allows you to live without breathing. I mean, this is marvelous. This means that somebody can have a heart attack on the street and the ambulance arrives and their lungs have stopped working, or you get shot and your lungs are flooding up, and where people used to be helpless now, all they need to do is inject you with this stuff. And what it will do, it will enable you to breathe. Now, a marvelous technology. I just can't wait to see what the streets do with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now I got some shit where I don't even have to take a breath. I can smoke up all the weed. You know what I'm saying? Or I might just want to see how it feels not to breathe. You know, I'm just waiting to see what the streets are going to do with this shit. What happens when you mix that shit with some other shit and now you just high without breathing? I mean, just imagine that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, I don't know where that's going to go, but we'll leave it alone. Last piece, and then I'm going to get up off of here because I ain't going to bore y'all with all my ranting and raving, but I appreciate you for listening. And also check out my books. You know what I'm saying? Trying to push off about 10,000 of them in the next couple of months. But anyway, that was a commercial if you ain't noticed. But last thing, in Cleveland, we find out that a man who was considered a good neighbor, quiet, handling his business, had 3 women tied up in the basement. And lo and behold, a brother coming from McDonald's, minding his business, probably on his way to the corner store to get a 40 ounce. That's his business. Goes up there and hears this girl calling for help, and he goes and he assists. Now, beautiful story. The guy was courageous because he ain't know what he was getting himself into, and he risked his life and went up there and saved this girl. He opens the door and he gets on the news, and not only that, now he's a hero. He got all types of people trying to throw him money, all types of opportunities come up, but he did put his life on the line because now this motherfucking media has put out all his business, his lateness with his child support, his domestic violence issues, and his jail time have all been exposed by the media. I didn't want to know all that shit, but it's kind of interesting to me that they did the rundown on this brother after he done put his life on the line. And now, since all his business out, how many more opportunities is he going to get? You should have let people find that out for themselves. I mean, this media is so hungry for news that they will tear up somebody who put their life on the line to actually be a community hero. This motherfucker could have kept minding his business, and that girl would have still been stuck in there. And if she would have been stuck, we would have never had the entertaining interview that this man put on. It was hilarious. I watch it in the morning so that I could smile on my way to work because it was hilarious and funny. So now, that's been Brother Hatim. We're going to go out on a tune by my man, by my people, over at Orange 82. So get ready. Here we go. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. This has been Brother Hatem with FreeStyle Friday. Y'all have a beautiful night. And with that, I'll say peace.